work well with that. It goes Mitch to Kirsty to Mitch. Yeah, here. Yes, a Hairless here. Firstly, apologies for the size of this. I hope it's not too distracting, but it's freezing and this is very, very warm. Keeps me nice and cozy. Right, E.T. Pentatonix. This is their first performance from the sing-off. It's their first performance together in the wider public eye. I read every single comment I get. Thank you to everyone who comments all the information about them. And I've learned from many of these comments saying that the first time they ever sang together was the day before this performance. So I'm very, very intrigued to see if this will be noticeable or not. Naturally, as humans, practice makes perfect. The more you do something, the better you get at it. The more a group performs together, the better they get. So, by that logic, in theory, this should be on the weaker end of their performances. I'm going to go in completely neutral, try not to let that affect my judgment here. I'm very, very interested to see what they'll do. Without further ado, I think let's get straight into it. Three voices.
Try to rest me out. You're so hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be an angel? Your touch magnetizing. Feels like I am floating. You're from a whole nother world, a different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready to go into the light. Kiss me.
Right, I think that's time for the first pause, and I'm going to quickly go back and try and just point out all the things that I noticed in that. So, first things first. This introduction was nice, and I said that the first thing I noticed was that it's three voices here. Now, they have 5 people on stage and 4 singers. I have recently learned that Kevin also has an unbelievable voice. If you want to see me find that out, the first time I heard him sing in my reaction to Imagine, I'll leave a card for that up here. But at this stage of their career, from the comments, I understand that Kevin was not yet singing and the others, namely Avi, helped him out with that. There's the possibility for 4 voices here, but they're not including Avi. And I think this is a super, super smart move, especially in your first performance. You don't want to go guns blazing immediately. Also, 3 voices is surprisingly more bare than 4th, especially having some powerful bass underneath that provides all the foundations. The other thing is Scott. His part is just singing the same note, and when you have moving parts around you, especially when it's so bare bones and exposed, it's actually more difficult than it sounds to just sing that same note. And you see how they all implement vibrato, and then they all have those unison notes on it's dun.
Try to rest me out.
I like the head movement and the beat. That intro is very nice, very short, so I think after I'm done with the full reaction here, I'm going to quickly write it out in some music software, transcribe it just so you can see what happens and, try and sing along with each part if you want. Could be quite a fun thing to do. Right, it's me from the future. I've transcribed the introduction, so we'll quickly go through it. Just a quick note, I've color coded at the bottom in purple. You can see where Scott is singing the same note, so it's important for him to maintain that pitch. And then in red, you can see who's singing the highest part at that moment in time. And you can see, even though there are only 3 phrases in the introduction, it goes Mitch to Kirsty to Mitch. And I found this really interesting because based on the Pentatonix performances I've seen so far, I always comment on how easily Mitch and Kirsty just hand each other the baton of parts. So yeah, I thought that was quite cool to see. I guess this intro is a kind of foreshadowing of all the years to come of Pentatonix and the kind of synergy that Mitch and Kirsty especially have. So to carry on. Again, very exposed. Now Avi's in, they've removed Mitch and Kirsty. There's not been a point yet where all 4 voices are singing together. Well, Mitch, good dancer, huh? You'll notice how Avi's part here is quite simplistic. Dum, dum. And overall, there's nothing too crazy about the arrangement yet. So, yeah, let's carry on. A lot of focus on choreography, I'm noticing. Okay, sorry to pause, but I need to try and find points between sections where I can pause to go back. Right, several things to say there. Firstly, nice run by Scott here, and the supporting parts work well with that. I quickly mentioned the choreography earlier, noticing that they're jumping around a lot, which can often be detrimental to the voice if you're singing. You know, it is difficult to move around and sing, so they're doing a really good job here. I understand that's probably what viewers at home might want to see, a nice show, visuals as well as just the singing. You can tell with time that they kind of move away from this crazy choreography. Another nice run by Scott there. Here, I think you know what I'm going to say. It's Avi's part, the overtones. Overtones are harmonics, and they're essentially extra notes that are created with one voice, and it's to do with the frequencies and how the sound waves kind of align with each other and cut with each other. This isn't a physics lesson, and I'm not going to try and explain it. Unfortunately, because of the format here, effect of the overtones is diminished quite a bit. The ideal setting for them is somewhere that's extremely resonant with great acoustics, ideally echoey. If you think of a kind of cathedral or a church, if you hear it in the flesh, it's really, really a mesmerizing sound. It kind of grips your body, but here you can't fully hear it through the microphone. If you are listening to this, do use headphones as well to try and get some kind of sense of it. Oh, he's going full with the overtones now. It's getting busy, it's getting busy. Yeah, that was a great performance, to be honest. Just the final parts from that final section, there are a few things that I noticed as well. I think that was pretty solid, to be honest. So point number one, I see in my comments a lot of people saying that in the show, Mitch was his mask. Mitch? He was told to tone down a little bit, and you can see that here, even with his voice. You can see there, he's kind of, it's almost like he's trying to like ground his voice a bit more. It's like his voice wants to go and float off into the stratosphere, but he's got it on a chain and he's not letting it. Number two, the overtones here, well, just listen to Avi. And you can see his kind of focus. Kevin here, obviously great effects, and Scott and Kirsty providing the nice, simple backing vocals. Next thing, Kirsty's solo, overall nice, but unfortunately the run down there I think is the weakest part of the performance, but you know, who cares? Attribute it to nerves, it's their first performance together. But if you just listen here, the bottom part. But I'm just being pernickety now, so ignore that comment if you want. Next thing, and nearly the final thing, here on the Take Me. So that's called a hemiola. It's a very, very catchy thing. It just provides a tiny bit of difference then before going back to normal. It's where you have like two groups of 3 beats played as 3 groups of 2 beats, or vice versa. So instead of 1, 2, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I was saying this part is getting very busy towards the end, the climax of the song, I guess. And again, to be pernickety, although it is their first performance, each part sounds very exposed, but it's fine. Like, these aren't things that we need to notice. And I love that choreography at the end. overall, you know, they're there to put on a show. It's their first performance, make an impact, and I think they've done exactly that. I wish I'd seen that live for the first time, honestly. I thought that was really cool. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, and as always, I love to find out more information about them. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.